happening. This was in the talks for a long time, and a lot of people were mixed opinions, said yes, and then some people said no. I think it would be very interesting to see, who could land more punches and who would win on the ground. So do I think it should happen? I think it should, but I also think realistically it's probably not going to. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Combat Talk Podcast. And as always, I'm your host Sophia. And before we get into the video, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell so you never ever miss another episode of the Combat Talk Podcast. But without further ado, let's get into our video. Today's video is going to be interesting. We have potential rematches versus potential matchups. But we're using your guys' comments to see, should it happen or should it not happen? So I have my handy dandy computer pulled up right here, but you can't see because of the backdrop. But the first one we have is Payne Talbot versus Malcolm Wellmaker. I think this absolutely should happen because stylistically, the striking, I kind of want to see what's going to happen. I want to see who's going to bring the war, who can handle the most damage, and I think that's a potential matchup that a lot of people would like to see. So, but next up we have Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. The person that also commented this said champ versus champ style matchup in a crazy striking grappling contrast. Yes, I could see that happening. This was in the talks for a long time, and a lot of people were mixed opinions, said yes, and then some people said no. I think it would be very interesting to see, who could land more punches and who would win on the ground. So do I think it should happen? I think it should, but I also think realistically it's probably not going to. So next up is Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones. Now, this fight has been talked about for a long time, and this has been talked about since Jon Jones had entered the heavyweight division, which I completely understand why. Now, when we talk about Alex Pereira, we're talking about someone that is really, really patient in his fights. He doesn't care to lose 1 or 2 rounds because he's waiting for his timing and he's waiting to see what you're going to do and how much power you're going to throw. So then he can capitalize and then, own you. So, do I think it should happen? I think so, because I think this would be a real test for Jon Jones in the heavyweight division. Now, is Johnny going to come back to the UFC? Probably not. But I do think this would be a really good test for him, and I think this would be a fight that he really would, want, because we can truly see if Jon Jones is really, all about the heavyweight division, and if he's a really good heavyweight in general, not just fighting one person. But, I still think Jon Jones is the GOAT, and people are going to come after me for that. Remember, judge him as a fighter for being the greatest of all time, not a human being, not outside the cage. You're judging him as a fighter. I'm going to put that out there because I know a lot of people are going to come after me for that. But it's the truth. So next up we have Sean O'Malley versus Merab. They said, can O'Malley solve the pressure in wrestling, the third time? Because they fought twice. So, do I think this matchup should happen again? Absolutely not. Because, what does it do? Nothing. It's not doing anything for the division. I mean, if anything, Merab should fight Peter Yan again, in my opinion. And, come back and learn a lot more takedown defense and also be able to stuff takedowns and also work on the striking more. That's all I'm going to say. So, Sean O'Malley versus Merab again, I don't think it does anything because we've seen it happen so many times. And plus, what is the point of it? It doesn't do anything for the division or the fans. So, I'm going to leave it at that. But we have Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. And to be honest, when we watched that fight back, if it wasn't for the ability of wrestling and Khamzat keeping him down, Dricus would have won. I mean, we saw the last couple seconds in the last round that Dricus was able to catch him with his hands. Now, Khamzat's hands have gotten better, but have they gotten better to the point where, he can handle the striking of Dricus? So, do I think that matchup should happen again? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, I'm 50-50 with it. I don't think I would care for it to happen. I don't think I would be mad or upset about it. But I could see the reasoning behind it. But that's my opinion. Just saying. You guys let me know. But next up, this fight has been talked about for 2 years straight. And I have been blown up about it. And it's Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. Now, with all the eye surgeries that Tom Aspinall has had, do I think he's going to come back? Probably not, because how do you have that many eye surgeries and then just come back to fighting? I don't know. But I think a lot of people want to talk about how John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. Imagine this. Someone is talking to you about the same person 24/7, DMing you, emailing you, in person, in your media, and in your socials. Don't you think you would get annoyed at that? I mean, I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm being dramatic, but, like, think about it. If someone was coming up to you, talking about someone that you didn't like, 24/7, wouldn't that annoy you? I mean, that would annoy me, because, and you guys are like, oh, they're fighters, they should just be able to take it. They're human beings, too. I mean, there are also people that don't want to be talked about the same person 24/7 if they're not going to fight them. Just say. So, but do I think it'd be a good matchup? I think it'd be a good matchup for Tom Aspinall to really see if he's really that good. I mean, Tom Aspinall was the last heavyweight that was really good. I mean, there really isn't that many heavyweights that are really that good. I mean, you have Volkov, you have Derek Lewis. That's about it. That's about it. And for the people that are going to come after me for that, I don't care. I mean, who was the last heavyweight that you really think is entertaining? Exactly. So, next up, we have Max Holloway versus Gaethje rematch. Now, the only reason why I could see this is because Gaethje wants to get his revenge and get that knockout against Max Holloway. So, do I think it should happen? No, because I don't think it's really that important to have it happen again. So, but next up, now this one was brought up a couple times, and I do like this matchup, is Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. I think it's just a guaranteed war. It's so much chaos happening from both. I think that's a fight that we need to see, because they're both coming into this with such high-level striking and ground game. Now, Charles Oliveira is the type of person where he can get knocked down a couple times, but he can come back. So let's not put that over here. We need to be considering this fight because of the chaos in the striking and the ground game. I mean, when's the last time we've seen a war without Charles Oliveira? It's been a while. Like, my point being is because Charles Oliveira can bring that war to these guys. And I think Arman is a good test to Charles to see, you know, how much violence can I take and how much violence is he going to bring to me. So I think this is a fight that, you know, could go all 5 rounds or it could go all 3 and it'd be constant war. So I think this is the fight that we need, just saying. But next up is Conor versus Aldo 2. No. Just what does that do? I mean, honestly, I think Conor proved his point in the first fight. So I don't see the point of that. What does that really do for you? Nothing. So, but next up is Brendan Allen versus Dricus du Plessis. I'm actually kind of curious to see how the striking would go, because I think Dricus needs someone like Brendan Allen to, you know, feed off of and have that war with. So I think that would be a good potential matchup. But next up is Roman Dolidze versus Marvin Vettori 3. To me, I don't really care if it happens or not. I'm not that too deep into it. Just saying, that's my honest opinion. I'd rather see any other fight. I just don't care that much for it. But next up is Dricus du Plessis versus Strickland 2. Now, I'm not mad about it, but I'm not crazy about it. I do think it does make sense because of the last fight and the outcome of it. So I do think Dricus du Plessis does need to be considered. Now, he's not my favorite fighter, but I think he does really need to be considered to fight Strickland again. However, do I think he should automatically get a title shot? No. I don't think so. But now this one was kind of interesting. Prime Conor McGregor versus Ilia Topuria. Now, when we look back at Prime Conor McGregor, we're talking about a lot of knockouts. We're talking about a lot of fast-paced movements. Now, when we talk about Ilia Topuria, I think he can match up just as much as Prime McGregor. I mean, if that If Ilia Topuria is not a version of Prime McGregor, then I don't know what is. So I think that would be an interesting matchup if Ilia Topuria were to fight Prime McGregor at the time. Because of the striking, I think Ilia could have brought a war to Conor and beat Conor. So, and I know people are going to go crazy for that, but stylistically, look back at Ilia's fights. I mean, look back at the Max Holloway knockout. Now, that really saddened me because I love Max Holloway, and that was really sad for me that day. But we have moved on. So, Ilia Topuria would bring that fight to him and bring that war to him. Just saying. But the last one we have is Diego Lopez versus Volkanovski 4. Do I see the point of this fight? No. Why? What does it do? What does it do? I mean, I really don't see the point. I mean, for any of the fight fans out there, like, why do you want to see that? I mean, I'm not hating on it. I'm just, like, curious, like, what does that do for the division, and what does that do for the both of them? I mean, they both have had wars with each other, and the only point is because Diego wants to have the belt, which I completely understand. It makes sense. It's a valid point. But, why? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, why does this need to really happen again? There's more fights to happen, and there's more coming up that we need to be more concerned about than this fight. So, that was today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I'm your host, Sophia. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you never ever miss another episode of the Combat Talk Podcast. But real quick, I know you see the shirt. It's Hayabusa. You know, go to Hayabusa right now and use my code Sophia in all caps to save some money on your order. Now, my endurance and recovery people that are big on that, you know that I've talked about Cell Saviors before, and they don't only just have those type of supplements. All their supplements are plant-based, not lab-based crap. It's all natural, and go get your supplements now at cellsaviors.org. And for the people that are like, oh, when are you coming out with t-shirts? I can excitedly, I can announce this finally. Very soon we will be coming out with t-shirts. So, but in the meantime, go get your Combat Talk merch off of the Millions streaming channel. Not only do we do UFC live streams, but we have merch on there and exciting interviews. So go check that out. All the links are going to be in the bio of the video. But for now, I will see you guys next time, and I'll see you guys soon. So, goodbye, guys.